was allowed.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is PubChat. Again, obviously not in the pub again. I'm not feeling very well today, so it wouldn't be good for me to head down the pub and kind of cough on everyone. But I'm joined by Glenn today, and today we're going to talk about the derby and what went on. It's one of those, isn't it, Glenn? You're just like, when are Liverpool going to start kicking on? Because it wasn't like they played really bad, was it? Because I didn't think they played too bad.
No, the first half wasn't great, was it? The first half wasn't great.
Yeah, again, another slow start by yours, wasn't it? But,
yeah, it was. So hey, go back to the teams first, though. Were you surprised when you seen no Robertson and no Milner
and Carvalho and Elliott start? Yeah. Obviously, the attacking side of me is like, wanting Carvalho, Fabinho, and Elliott on the pitch. This wasn't the game. Like we say, obviously Klopp picks the team. He sees them in training. We don't. But, us as fans are allowed to criticise because that did not work whatsoever.
Do you know what though? If you actually think about it, from like a midfield point of view, what actually could we have done? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't. Because when we spoke about it, I know you weren't there. When we spoke about it in a week, we were like, well, the midfield's going to be Milner, Harvey, and Fabinho, and there wasn't really any other options. But if you actually think about it, because we've got Napoli on Wednesday, he obviously doesn't want to play Milner 2 games back to back. So he's probably thought, well, I can only play Milner in one of those games, and maybe he's thought, well, there'll be more space. There'll be more space in the derby, or they're going to basically just sit in more. I'm going to have to play another one. Probably Curtis is probably not ready to play. Obviously, that's why he doesn't get on at all yesterday. And
there was no chance of
you know what I mean?
Arthur playing.
No, there's no way he was going to play. So it was a little bit like, for me, I'm not going to lie, I was really surprised when I seen it, but it was for me the Robertson, the fact that yesterday we had so many players that were new to the derby. So. Carvalho, Costas, it must be the first time he started there. Nunes obviously started, and there's one more, isn't it? Oh, for Harvey as well. I think the first time they would have all played at the Goodison derby, and there's something so much different about playing at the Goodison derby, isn't there, than playing it at Anfield. So it was a surprise.
It's a very tough place to go. Again, form goes out the window. Maybe Everton were looking at us as well, going, form goes out the window because we're not playing well. But yeah, very surprised to see it. But, as we talk about it, it is understandable because these games are coming every 3 or 4 days. So yeah, Klopp must have just thought, I'll have Millie on Wednesday, so I'll put Carvalho in. And you could just tell it just wasn't working. We were being overrun in midfield quite easily.
Yeah, I think it was the first time. Well, not the first time, but it was the game where you just think, oh my god, what you do to have Thiago here for just 30 minutes, 30 minutes even just to get on the ball, because it was like an old school sort of derby where it was fast and it was quick and there was tackles and all that stuff, but I just needed a Liverpool player to just get on the ball, didn't it? I just needed a little bit of class. Just reminded me of when we had Alonso, mid 2000s, and you play these games and they'd be full of tackles flying in and stuff like that, and you have someone like Xabi Alonso who's just absolute class, get out the foot on the ball and just take the emotion out of the game, and we definitely missed that in midfield yesterday.
Well, I think also one of the major issues I'm having, and it's been since the first game, is these long diagonal balls we keep playing. Van Dijk keeps doing it. Trent keeps doing it. And it's not getting to the player.
Yeah, it's got to be short and quicker, hasn't it?
Yeah, we just seem to be hurrying things up too soon. Like instead of playing that second, third pass, we're already down the field. But then a lot of our players aren't downfield already. They're isolated, you know.
We've been caught out a couple of times with that, haven't we? But yeah, the first half was frustrating, really. But I felt like with Carvalho getting a knock, I don't know how. Have you seen anything of that? Is he going to be out, or is he?
No, it was a dead leg. It was a dead leg right above the knee. So obviously there's going to be a bit of swelling, Klopp said. So it just depends on how quickly that goes down. So, but yeah, a dead leg. So I don't know. He might make the trip. He might not. They might just, you know, because
I was thinking when Firmino came on, it massively helped us. I was surprised.
It changed the game.
I was surprised he come on with Harvey because like when he come on, it was basically 4-2-4, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Harvey pretty much sat in, and I thought, I'm not sure about this, but for that 10 minutes, that was Liverpool's best spell of the whole game, wasn't it? The 10-15 minutes after half time. Well, we were brilliant.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Bobby didn't start. I thought Núñez would get the nod again for Wednesday. I thought this was too soon. I mean, having Núñez.
I thought he was going to play Núñez. I did. I just thought he'd probably play Núñez and look to have Bobby play in Europe. And the fact that Bobby's played 3 games on the bounce as well, I just thought maybe he might come out, and he did. But when he come on, he did. He definitely helped. He helped change. He helped change. And the frustrating thing for me was then he made the Milner and the Robson changes because. For that 15 minutes, we were so on top, and it looked like the goal was coming. Pickford made a couple of good saves. We were creating lots of chances, and it was the first time in the game where Liverpool were generally on top of the game. So it was frustrating seeing those changes. Really, well, maybe it could have been 10 minutes later.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really mind Robbo coming on for Tsimikas because Tsimikas was. I'm sorry, he you know, I like him, but some of these people that actually like put him level with Robbo must be laughing because no chance. Robbo was head and shoulders above Tsimikas, and you could tell as soon as he came on, there was more going down that left side. But yeah, the Trent substitution was very bizarre because, like we talked, they had Gordon on that side, who's got tons of pace, and Milner just looked a deer in headlights. It was awful.
So I agree about the Robertson one because I'm not a massive Costas fan. I just think for that period of the game, I don't even know if we needed to make the changes. I think we could have left it another 10 minutes. Even Robertson even coming on. The Milner one, when Milner was coming on, I thought, well, he's going to come on for Harvey here. He's going to come on for Harvey. We're going to hit him and Fabinho, basically just going to sit, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing here and just sort of going at them 44. So when it was Trent to come off, I don't think Trent had a great game, but that he was starting to grow into the game in the second half. So when it was him that come off, it was, oh my God, it was as soon as it happened as well, Everton switched Everton then put Gordon back on, because I think Gordon was actually playing from the right at that point, and they switched him back over.
Yeah, he switched.
And he massively struggled, didn't he? He massively struggled. I don't understand this change in the fullbacks. I know the idea of keeping them fresh and stuff like that. That's fine, but in a derby, like,
well, I mean,
if you want to rest Trent and Napoli away, where there's going to be more pressure, and you want to play Gomez at right back, and you want to be more defensive, and then you want to bring in Matip at Napoli, crack on. But I don't know. I didn't understand that change at all.
Yeah, it was a bizarre one. But you know, we hit the post 3 times. They hit the post.
They had to sit, didn't they, with Mopé?
I mean, Alisson did brilliant. He spread himself wide. I mean, both goalies saved each other's teams. I mean, you've got to. I don't like the lad really, Pickford, but you've got to say hats off to him because he made some really, really good saves.
Yeah, that one for Salah at the end was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was going in. I thought it was going in.
No.
Yeah,
I think after them, they must. I mean, we got it a couple of years ago, didn't we, with Henderson? But they must feel hard done by with their goal because
margins, isn't it? And of all people, Cody.
I know.
Well,
the funny thing was, I was convinced then that we were going to then go on and win it. And
I know you messaged me and you're like, we're with this. I was I'm in your corner because
the thing is, if we would have went on and won that game after that, I think I don't know if it could ever get any funnier because that was some celebration he had and they had.
Yeah,
there's that, and like as much as it's dead funny, we've had that happen to us.
Yeah.
I know we might touch a little bit on VAR later, but God, it must be awful, isn't it?
Oh well.
It must be awful.
Oh well.
Yeah, I know. But then it happened to us a couple of years ago, and we thought we scored a last minute win, didn't we?
Yeah,
I'm still convinced that. That's what I mean. Half the time, I
That's still a goal, by the way, that Hendo scored because Mane was not offside. I don't care.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
It is.
What did you think of them, by the way? What did you think about them? Because I thought they'd done all right, to be fair.
Who, Everton?
Yeah.
I thought they played really well. It looked like Lampard had a game plan and they stuck to it. They frustrated us. You know, again, it seems every match, two defenders on Salah, they're keeping him on the right. But quickly before that, James Pearce actually came up with an article this morning, and I've got a little bit of it. Analysing Mo Salah's slow start to the season, the idea that he somehow eased off after signing that new contract is ridiculous. Balance of the team isn't right, and tactically, Liverpool are failing to get the best out of their most potent attacking weapon. Salah is seeing less of the ball, average of 47.7 touches per 90 this season compared to 56 last season. 55% of them coming from wide on the right, up from 50% last season, and taking just 2.8 non-penalty shots per 90, down from 4.3 last season. That tells it all.
We're always saying,
he's isolated. He's isolated.
He's so wide all the time.
Yeah,
he's just so wide all the time, and it must be a tactic. But someone asked Klopp it. Klopp was asked it on his press conference yesterday, and he was saying that I think he pretty much sort of asked him as if like, is this sort of a tactic? And he was saying not really anything more than what it is usually. But I can't get my head around it. He seems so wide to me all the time.
Do you think it's a little bit because of Elliott now being in the team?
I mean, I think it's not necessarily Elliott. I think it's more Nunes with Nunes coming in like long term, and Diaz. I think it's maybe. I mean, you've seen it against Bournemouth because people are saying, "Oh, you know, Salah didn't score against Bournemouth" and things like that. But if you watch the amount of times that they there's like two players on Salah, and the proper just occupies so many players, even three players sometimes. I think he occupies so much space that him just sticking wide then gives more space to people like Nunes and Diaz. But I don't give a shit about that. I want our best footballer to be closer to scoring, like closer in the box where he can score goals. Yeah, it's frustrating. I wonder. I wonder at times whether we could, like even yesterday when we went to that like 4-2-4. I wouldn't even have minded seeing Salah be one of them that goes and like is one of them. Do you know what I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing maybe when you're playing against teams that defend quite deep, even Harvey going out and playing a little bit more wide right, and Salah playing inside a little bit more. I mean, that might change now with Nunes, but just need to be in the box more.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's interesting that you said that. Well, I've never ever thought that anyway, that Salah's had a poor start of the season, because if anyone actually watches the game and sees how many times does he get the ball, and it's been, it proven there from what you were saying.
Yeah.
He's not going to affect the game if he doesn't get the ball, does he?
Well, I mean, there's some people just say, since last year he hasn't been right and all this, and I'm like, but he was top assists and he got top goals. I mean, just because he's not scoring doesn't mean he's not helping the team, and that's what's frustrating, I think, for a lot of people, that he's not scoring. But you know what? When you're winning 9-0 and your main man doesn't score, that still means you're doing good.
No, I'm not worried about Salah. I think as soon as, another thing is when you've got actually some midfielders back, you might get the ball a little bit more, or maybe when your right back gets a little bit better form, he might get the ball a little bit more. So I don't know, being a little bit more in field will definitely help.
Yeah, I mean, news is Thiago's back next week in training, which is a massive plus. But I did want to talk to you about Van Dijk's tackle. Was that a red for you?
Probably.
Yeah, it was a red for me. That studs up. That could have broken his ankle.
Probably.
He got away with one.
Yeah, it probably was. But, it shouldn't be. I feel a bit tit for tat for saying this, but, it also happened to him in the derby a couple of years ago, didn't it? I'm not saying that's because I'm not really into that. If you put one here on him, I'll put one here. But this is sort of going back to the VAR thing. I mean, it went in our advantage, thankfully, but I don't know. I don't know how it's not a red. It should be a red, but
yeah, because I mean,
what if Christ there wasn't?
The referee was right there as well. So,
well, you got VAR, so there's not even another ref, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he stayed on, but I mean, if that happened turn it around and an Everton player did that on one of our players, we'd want him sent off. I mean, that's studs up, like basically ankle destroyer for me. But end of the day, another point on the board. 9 points out of a possible 18. Not good. We actually last season we were 5 points better at this stage.
It's
frustrating for all of us, but it's got to be frustrating for them as well. I mean, they're still bedding in Nunes. Nunes had a 3-game match suspension, so he's not flowing. Trent's not flowing either, and usually with the Trent Salah connection, it's usually good, but this team is too good to stay in a rut. So I feel a winning streak is coming. It might take a few more hard fought wins, but I think it's coming.
Well, I said on I can't remember when it was now, but I said, it was before. I think it was before Bournemouth, and I said, I feel like we're going to go on this some mad winning streak of about 10 games. So it lasted 2. But the thing is, these games are all going to be slogs now. We've not Napoli away is just. Can you imagine? It's going to be a nightmare. Then you've got Wolves at home, which
Saturday.
On Saturday. So you'd think that one will be thing. And then we've got another Champions League. You've got Ajax, and then it's Chelsea. I think, isn't it? Is it Chelsea then after that?
Yes, I think
so. Yeah, I think so.
You always ask me these, and then I've got to run to the computer and look it up. I think. Well, Chelsea's on the 18th, so I would think so. Yeah, so Napoli, Wolves, Ajax, Chelsea. Yeah, it sounds about right, but
there's not many games, isn't there? I mean, the 18th is only 14 days away.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. That's a stretch of games, isn't it? When you've not got any, when it feels like you've not got any midfielders.
Yeah, but I mean, now with Thiago coming back this week, training, and you got Arta, it makes you feel a little bit better because the subs bench looked a lot better.
Curtis too.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, so it looks a lot better. So yeah, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. Sometimes I'm actually happy when we do like a review not right after the game because tempers are flared up. I mean, I think if we would have won, I wouldn't mind doing a review right after the game. But when you kind of draw or you lose, you don't really want to do it till a little bit later because. Just like the one, where we did and you were pretty pissed off and you're just like, I'm glad we didn't do this 10 minutes earlier just because,
I was having a mental breakdown after Man United.
Yeah, exactly. And you just got to kind of take a deep breath and like, well, we got to get through it anyway. But yeah.
I think you're right. There is some positives in the fact that Jota came back yesterday as well.
Yeah.
It's good to see him come on. Obviously, Nunes is back. He was only out for 3 games, but because we didn't really have any games within that period, it felt like he was out for ages. So now you've got a situation where you've now got 5 forwards again, which, consider we had 3 and we'd be in games and be like, we need to change it.
Well,
now we've got 5 forwards again.
That's why Klopp was like, it feels like Christmas. We've got 5 forwards. Yeah,
it's a shame that we've got like 2 midfielders, but so then now and also Curtis was on the bench, Thiago's coming back, so be sound now if we can figure out what's going on with Naby Keita as well. Sounds like he's not right there, is it?
Nah, well, I mean, like I just said to you, Ox and Keita have been left out of the Champions League squad completely, so they can't play in the group stages. Obviously, we know what's up with Ox. We know he had like a hamstring or muscle injury. With Keita, nobody knows because it wasn't on the pitch, and it sure doesn't look like it was in training either. So it's a weird one.
If it's a muscle injury, how long is it? He's been out. He's not. Just trying to think of this season. Has Keita played at all this season? He hasn't, has he? I think he has. I can't remember him. Remember him being involved at all.
Because he was sick, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he had the shits, and then he's got this muscle injury that's going to be
right before United, right?
The Champions League is the Champions League goes up until like basically the first week in November, doesn't it? I think, or it might be the very end of October. So we're in just at the start of September now. So that means that he's going to be out with this muscle injury for 12 weeks. Mm-hmm. If he is, unless they're just saying, well, we'll keep him. I just don't.
Well, it's weird because there was rumours before the United game, his agent was supposedly said if he doesn't play at the United game, he's done.
Yeah, I couldn't see that, but
I think he's finished. I think he's finished at Liverpool. I do. I think
it's strange, though, isn't it? I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's so. I don't know. It is. It's hard to just say, well, he's injured because why would he be out? Why would he be out of the whole squad?
Yeah.
Saying that though, if he's out for 4 weeks, if he's out for another 3 weeks, the Champions League now are every other week, not every week. So if you're out for 4 weeks, there doesn't really much point in putting him in a squad where he can only play 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that, It's one of those because it's frustrating because there is a player there in Keita.
Yeah, can you imagine if we would have had Keita just at the weekend, just even to have come on or just to have started, it's frustrating, but I don't know.
But again, looking at that squad that I looked at for the Champions League and still having Ox and Keita out, is pretty damn good. I mean,
yeah, if they're fit, that's the thing, isn't it?
Well, if they can stay fit, I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people already talking. Yeah, Thiago's back, but when's the next time he gets injured, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, what's your thoughts for going into? I know we don't speak too much on Napoli, but going into Napoli, what is your thoughts on? Do you think there'll be many changes? Do you think? Can you see?
That's the thing. Like, I really thought, I mean, taking Trent off, obviously he's saving his legs for Wednesday.
Yeah, but like I said before, I wouldn't even be against Gomez playing right back and Matip playing and being a little bit more defensive over there. But it's hard to say what Matip's going to be like, doesn't it? As well, but yeah. I don't know.
That's a 100% start on Wednesday.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
When maybe Gomez comes out. See, I'd like to keep Gomez in just to keep that run going. But then I can see it from the other side of it. He's come back. Maybe we might need to just take him out. Midfield.
Your guess is good. Yeah,
I don't think you've got any. So my only thing is I wonder whether we might do a little bit of 4-2-3-1, and you might do Milner, Fabinho, and then have Bobby drop in with Diaz, Salah, and Nunes. I don't know, and that's the only reason I sort of say that is that we don't have any other really midfielders. Maybe Harvey can play as well, but then you're in the situation where if these lads keep playing every week and there's no one else to bring in for them, then you're going to run the risk into that as well.
What do you think Arta will get the nod?
I don't think he'll start on that one. I mean,
yeah, it's a bit too early.
I think if he's going to start anywhere, it'll be at Wolves at home. I just don't think Napoli away is one for him to. He knows the league. He'll know them because he obviously played in that league last year. But I think it's well too soon to put him in. But who knows?
I actually think the lads will gel pretty quickly because he knows Alisson, Bobby, and
yeah, he might do. He might be sound to go and have some Brazilian steak or whatever with. But it's more about he's been at Liverpool for 4 days.
Yeah.
He's playing in that midfield. It's totally different than playing in a midfield at Juventus, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a little bit taller. But I was going to say to you, do you know who I am worried about? I am worried about Fabinho. Because,
now. Yeah, exactly. And they say Hendo's out for at least 5 games. So
that's probably going to be him out until after the internationals. So that means that Fabinho is going to have to play another 4 games.
Mad.
And so you think, because he doesn't look right at the minute.
No,
I think he was better yesterday, by the way. I think he was better yesterday, but he hasn't looked at his best in the season. I do worry about him maybe getting an injury. I really do. But it's like, who's taking his spot?
Yeah.
And when is it?
Yeah, there's you look on that squad roster and you just go, who can take Fabinho's spot apart from Hendo? No one.
But where's also?
I mean, unless you put Milner there.
Where's the game? Where's the game? We don't have in the Champions League. We don't have like a Molde or bloody, I don't know, Red Star Belgrade at home. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know we don't have anyone that we can play at hhome that we could just go and batter 5-0 and we can make 4 or 5 changes. None of those games that we play are going to be walkovers. I don't think we'll win any of those games 4-5-0. No, they're going to be intense, especially away from home. They're going to be really intense games. So I don't know where that is, and I do worry a little bit about that. I do worry about where he gets his rest. Because an injury to him, any type of injury to him would be horrific, wouldn't it?
It would. But as we come to a close, I just want to say we've got a Champions League preview coming up, Napoli preview, and obviously we'll do the preview for Wolves this coming week. But yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, is it, mate? There's a light somewhere. There's a light somewhere somewhere in some far off land. But we're too good to keep in this rut. We're getting players back. I just feel it might take a couple more games just to get going. But I mean, City drew yesterday. So
that was the frustrating thing. I think it's just like.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me. It is.
There's a part. It's just like, just typical that, isn't it? Because we win yesterday, then you caught a little bit back off them. But I don't even want to think about them at the minute. I really don't. We've got to sort ourselves out.
Yeah, I mean, we wait to really see where we're at, before the World Cup. And like I've said many times, if we're in touching distance by the end of November, I think we still have a chance, obviously, because the second half, we've got quite a number of players that aren't going to the World Cup that will need that extra rest. And then hopefully they don't chip over stuff.
No, I don't want to piss on your Weetabix or anything, but they've also got Riyad Mahrez and some lad called Haaland that aren't going to the World Cup either.
Yeah, well, hopefully he chipped over his carpet.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, so, I know, man. He's a
it's very positive, isn't it? It's very positive. So
he's a scoring machine at the moment. He scored 10? Haaland 10 already. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, let's not talk about
Come on, Nunes. Yeah. Come on, get those 3 hat tricks real quick. Anyways, again, Glenn, thanks for spending 30 odd minutes with me. I know it's not down the pub, like we like.
We'll be on Thursday, won't it? We'll hopefully get some. Hopefully get a little free lunch on Thursday.
Exactly, and hopefully you'll press record.
Hey, that's not on me. That bloody hell.
That's on our director Julian that forgot to press record. But
Julian Spielberg.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll be back down the pub and enjoying some lovely scran. But thank you for tuning in. This has been our Everton review show, and please like and subscribe as always. And appreciate you listening, and we'll see you later.